Adrift on a riff on what if. The theme seems dreams hatching of a fable. The plot, babyface Joe Root may be able to win the race, gets the label hot to trot, the best of the lot, the Italian stallion in the stable. The three lions chuffed and blessed as Tutti, Fruity, Rooty puffed out his chest and topples the rest with his zest. The Yorkie gets a medallion for finally catching and matching Sachin, a mischief thief from beneath, snatching the number one spot to become the new chief. Every Indian fan in disbelief, teeth gnashing, a non-stop sulker with a reef. 'Cause the gist is Joe's almost trippy, whippy, nippy wrist, record smashing, runs reaping and stashing, leaping, right, dashing up the all-time list. The Joe glow in full flow, slap by slap, blow by blow, dispatching the leather in his cap of feather. Our chap a victory lap, giving Tendulkar a tap, detach him from the top of the test table. Not a moot point in any cricketing joint. Can't really refute why we anoint a point. Baby boy, not a suit root. Because when it does suit, we'll put in the boot, bear fruit, as he does loot, having a toot and a hoot on his magic flute. Hard not to flatter the latest and maybe greatest English batter. Joe may still stutter, but you'd be a nutter not to have a flutter. My tuppence worth can future tense already sense many an Indian tut-tutter. Their immense utter dismay. Someone stronger than the bomber from Bombay no longer holds sway, had his day. Come what may, them having of course not rationed an impassioned defence of his turf, they've fashioned the empiricism of his lyricism, his stoicism, as they mutter and splutter, another criticism and witticism from the gutter. They just close the shutter. Well, Sachin is their bread and butter, because there is no band-aid plaster for this potential exponential Rooty raid. It would be such a colonial disaster. There would be not just a touch, but much trouble in the Indian bubble. But a double bluff from the rubble, a rebuff to Joe and his teenage stubble. Tit for tat, spits and spats, strap, stuff and snuff your stats, just fluff and guff. Tough enough to convince as they wince in a huff. Won't tip their hats, just an irritation, as the reputation of their nation and every generation we scuff. They will still say it's just a systemic, numeric polemic. There has never been any better than their record setter, run getter, before or any day since. Their prince. No one can fetter the little master. Couldn't be gladder that Joe's climbing the ladder. First he did overhaul Perky Quirky trying to pull, then came that dapper chapper, freestyler, runs for fun, piler, Mahila J. Wardner, getting hysteric as Root is not blipped, dipped or slipped, and's even pipped. The stratospheric, mesmeric, totemic, Brian Charles Lara. So blatantly, flagrantly fragrant, could get away even with wearing a tiara. Our talisman of a land, now not far from another sassy, sultry, hefty lefty, getting squiffy on the water from the Liffey, as Joe in a jiffy, ascending, transcending, looking spiffy, with his Silver Street quiffy, like Lara gives me a stiffy, the lush plush rush of Kumar Sangakkara. Then take a look, and the next hook in the record book is our very own, homegrown Mr. Cook. And not an idle threat, bet Joe has soon overtook the man who, remember, doesn't fret or even sweat. Babs Joe, only 33, could beat all his peers, be top of the tree if another 4 years he plays. Near 60 odd tests more and grabs tons with his delightful dabs and tweaks, sneaks, and ekes another 4,000 runs. Nabs the peak of this unique, sleek, never meek or weak, freak geek clique, gets the nod as a cricketing god. The longevity of Sachin's temerity, the sagacity, pedacity, no one else of his ilk, in the groove, each move as smooth as silk, as the bowlers he did milk, history made with the way he played for a double decade, even while the spotlight shone so bright, a delight, soaring like a kite, scoring in full flight, despite the bottom feeder, greedier, seedier tabloid media. Never ever boring, his adoring, faithful roaring, opponents flooring, but now, kapow, the Indian flock shock as they clock that tick-tock, Sachin in the dock as Joe ticks every box, rocks with his tricks and coop with his licks, kicks, knocks Sachin off his research perch. In no way besmirch the Indian's flair and bouncy hair, but left in the lurch as fans search for merch from Joe's church as he nicks the title of GOAT. Take note, not one to gloat, but would get my vote, float my boat. So don't get snooty or madder if the stats ultimately picks the beauty of Rooty Booty on England duty as the top name in the frame of the hallowed Hall of Fame of this glorious game. Up the ladder he does pitter patter, because every batter knows numbers really, clearly, dearly do matter.